friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we are talking all about how fitness has changed my mental health and therefore has changed my life. So one of the first things that I got into when I was struggling with mental health was actually health and fitness. And I wanted to kind of give you guys like a little story time and explain to you kind of like where it started for me and where I'm at now with my health and fitness journey. So with that being said, if you guys have not seen my previous videos on this mental health series, I would recommend that you at least go back and watch the one on depression, because I do give a little bit more information on like my past and my experience with depression, because that's the main thing that kind of was holding me back and something that was changed for me when I incorporated health and fitness and movement into my life. So with that being said, it started for me when I was about 14 years old. And this is when I got removed from school and I became a homeschooler. And so I was doing a lot of sitting. And because I was going through kind of a tough time and through a lot of changes, what I do is I eat. And because I think food for me is a comfort and it's something that I go to when I'm stressed, this was a problem for me because I went from being very active, moving around a lot, to literally doing nothing but sitting on the couch and eating food that was not healthy for me. And I think there was multiple reasons why I became depressed. And one of those being that I was so used to the endorphins and the good feeling that comes from being active and moving your body. And the second thing would be when you're giving your body healthy food and nutrients, you're fueling your brain and you're giving your body the things that it needs to thrive. And neither of these things were happening for me at this time, so that caused me to spiral down. And of course, there were a lot of other emotional things and other struggles that I was going through that definitely didn't help with my mental health. But this is gonna be more so geared toward how fitness and health changed my mental health. So with that being said, during the time of me going through all this, challenge with not eating good, feeling like a slug, it was actually my mom who inspired me to change that, because what happened was at the time she was working out. She was doing these workout videos on the TV. You guys may have heard like Zumba, P90X, Turbo Fire. Those were like her main things that she would do. And I noticed how much happier she was when she was working out. And that kind of inspired me to get more into health and fitness. And I was like, wow, if that's really making a difference in her life, I want to see what that does for me. And so what I did was I started doing these workout videos, these follow along workout videos on the TV, and I would do them a few times a week. And right off the bat, I noticed such a big difference in my energy and how I was feeling because I was moving my body again. I was getting those endorphins. I felt like my body started to just get oxygen to more parts of my body, because when you're sedentary, you start to feel very sluggish. And so that was a huge changer for me. And once I was pretty consistent with exercising, that is when I started to incorporate a lot healthier foods. So I started to cut out the things that I knew were unhealthy. Things like sugar, I tried to be more gluten-free with the choices that I, made, and just eating more protein, things like that. And at this time, I really didn't know much about health and fitness. So I kind of did a little bit of research and kind of hearsay on what was healthy and what wasn't. And with that, I kind of found myself getting into this, basically an eating disorder, because I was not feeding my body what it needed when I was exercising. So basically what happened was I went from being very overweight, 14 years old, sitting on the couch, doing basically nothing. I gained around 30 pounds in a few months, which completely wrecked my self-esteem and how I saw myself, because I just felt like not only did I feel shitty about, my mental health and everything, and I was sad, but like when I looked in the mirror at myself, I thought I was absolutely hideous. And yeah, that was just a really tough time. And so moving into a place of working out and eating healthy, I feel like I went to the extreme, because I have a tendency with my personality to be very obsessive about things. And so I went from eating a ton and not exercising to eating probably half of what I was eating before and exercising twice a day. And I do not recommend that to people because that is way too much, very excessive. And I did this for probably a couple months, and I noticed that this is actually when I started to kind of dip again in my mental health and my self-esteem, because I felt like, why do I have to work so hard to get, my body where I want it, or to see the results that I wanted? And what I discovered was that I had body dysmorphia, and the more weight that I lost, it was never enough. Like, I kept feeling like I gotta lose, 2 more pounds. I gotta lose another inch off my waist. I got to, I just want to cut back a little bit more and a little bit more. And it felt like it was just never enough. And what this led me to discover was it wasn't really that I was overweight or that anything was wrong with my body. It was that I didn't love my body. And this is probably a huge key takeaway from this too, is before you even start to lose weight or even incorporate a healthy routine or lifestyle, sit down with yourself and truly try and bring yourself to a place of acceptance where you're at. Like, truly loving yourself and accepting yourself where you're at right now is going to help you be so much more successful no matter what it is you choose to do, for working out, healthy eating, the way that you view yourself, because your body's going to be in a place of, it's going to feel that energy. It's going to feel like, okay, Holly loves me and that she's truly doing this to help me out, instead of coming from a place of, your body's ugly and it feels like this, hateful, ugly energy. And that's not going to resonate well with your body, because your body loves you unconditionally and you should treat it with love. So, key takeaway, love your body as it is. And during these times of going through this crazy up and down with my health and going through eating disorders and excessively working out and realizing that this wasn't happiness, I had to kind of take a step back and be like, okay, there's got to be a better way to approach this. There's got to be more of a balanced way to find a place where I'll be happy with my body and I can eat healthy, but I'm not going insane. And there was years there where I was trying out all these different diets, keto, paleo, Whole30, and all these different ways of, tracking macros to try and find this perfect way, that works for me. And there is some truth to that. Like, you really do need to find something that works for you, because there is no one correct or right diet for one person. Everyone's body is different. People have different lifestyles. And to me, diets aren't good in general, because if it's something that you're only going to do for the short term, yeah, you may lose weight and your body may change, but you're just going to go back. Lifestyle change is where it's at. Changing your habits and implementing things that you can do for the long term is going to be so much better for you versus doing something that's short term that isn't going to last. You have to do something that feels good to you, that you can stick to, just like I just mentioned. Something that allows you to enjoy food. For example, for me, I'm a foodie. I want to be able to enjoy certain foods that I find delicious, but also be able to stay healthy, not taking it to the extreme. So what works for me is more so an intuitive approach, I would say, to eating. So knowing that I need to get a certain amount of protein per day because I want to make sure that I'm maintaining my muscle mass, because that is another thing that's very important, especially if you're weight training. You need to be making sure that you're getting around your body weight in grams per day, just to make sure that you are recovering properly. Your energy levels are going to be, stable, and recovery is just the biggest thing when it comes to training. You don't want to be tearing down your muscle tissue and not replenishing that. And for me, it really just works to kind of intuitively feel what my body needs. And if you're somebody out there who's like, what the heck, I have no idea what you're talking about, how do you intuitively eat? The best way to go about this would be, what's helped me is download MyFitnessPal, track a few days of what you eat, and kind of just get a rough idea of how much you're eating, and then kind of go from there. And I won't go into too much detail about how to get results and macros and how much you should be eating to lose weight versus gain weight, because this video is supposed to be more so about my experience with health and fitness and how it kind of changed my life. And just with all that being said, what has helped me is making sure that I'm getting enough food, especially healthy fats, things like that that are gonna help my brain health, making sure that I'm getting enough nutrients in my diet, healthy greens, vegetables, fruits, proteins, and every single piece of your, macronutrient and micronutrient breakdown needs to be somewhat in balance. So making sure you're getting your carbs, your proteins, your fats, getting in your nutrients, staying hydrated. All these things are gonna allow you to be in a much better place mentally because your body is getting what it needs to thrive. And this is going to allow you to be in a much better place, especially if your depression or your mental illness is stemming from nutrient deficiencies, like I've talked about in previous videos. And once you're able to do that, I just noticed for me personally, it really, really did change my mental health. I started to feel more energized. I started to feel like I was in more balance with myself. And once I was able to do that, that's when I started to discover more ways to kind of, help myself in terms of my mental health. And that is where I'm gonna say, if you do all of these things that I'm mentioning in this video, if you're taking care of you're eating healthy foods, you're eating a balanced diet, and you're getting in your nutrients, and you are choosing to exercise, and, at least a few times a week getting in movement, then if you're noticing that you're still feeling down, that is where you're going to need, obviously, that extra assistance, whether it be reaching out to a therapist, somebody who understands more about mental health. And you guys can go watch my video once again, because I go a lot deeper into the other reasons why people feel depressed, and it can go much deeper than just deficiencies and, lack of exercise. There's a lot more to it than just health and fitness. But this is just my experience on how just this little thing alone, health and fitness, healthy lifestyle, healthy eating, will change your life in a positive way for every single person. Because taking care of your body is so important. You only have one body, and you should take care of it. That's pretty much all I have for today's video. I will give you guys a quick breakdown of the tips in this video, and the first one is going to be taking care of your health by making sure that you're eating a balanced diet, making sure that you're exercising frequently, every day, making sure that you're not doing too much, but you're also not being sedentary. You need to get that blood flowing and moving through your body, and taking the action steps in terms of, getting the help that you need. If you need a personal trainer, get a personal trainer. If you need a nutritionist, get a nutritionist. Because all these little things are gonna come together, and it's gonna make you a much happier and more balanced human being. And then if you need more help from there, you guys can, of course, reach out to me, and I'm gonna be offering coaching, especially for any of you people out there who are struggling with mental health and you feel like you're stuck and you don't know what to do next. And that's what I'm here for. So I appreciate you guys watching this video today. As always, like, subscribe, that helps my channel. There's always more videos to come, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.